Thank you. We did it.
We did it!
I mean, we still got more to film.
Right.
Yeah.
Joseph for the dub is out.
Shout out to the Liberty.
Hey!
Hey y'all, as you can see, we are filming after the New York Liberty have taken the WNBA Finals. But welcome to our final episode of season 1 of Jones and for the Dub. I'm a little sentimental. I hope y'all are too. Cries in here. Anyway, welcome back to our channel. We have a lot to cover, including the finals, like I just said. So let's get into it with the weekly W. Go Liberty, I guess. All right, y'all. So like I said, the New York Liberty did defeat the Minnesota Lynx to take their very first franchise WNBA championship. I know that's right. In 28 years, also, the Liberty are an original team. We told y'all this in episode 1. They are one of the first teams to be founded by the WNBA, and they have now won their first championship. Teaspoon was there. There were so many people in that building showing them love as they deserve. So I actually am very happy for the Liberty. They did win over the Lynx 67-62 in overtime, baby. We were fed. I hope y'all had fun at the finals. I hope y'all had fun the playoff period, because I'm telling you, round after round, we were fed. We ate, we're full, and now it's time for Thanksgiving. Jonquel Jones did take the MVP of the finals, and I know that's right. She was averaging like 18 points a game, 7.6 rebounds, 2 assists. She well deserved it. And no shade, she really deserved it over some of her teammates. We'll get into that in a minute. However, I was very proud of Jonquel. And on the last episode, we did do our brackets. And our very own Andrew did guess the Liberty one correctly. I voted for the Lynx. Liberty don't kill me. Ellie don't kill me. But at least one of us on the team got it right, so I know that's right, okay? So like I said, Jonquel Jones did take away that MVP trophy, finals MVP, and she was actually one of my favorite performances of the finals. I have to give a shout out to Napheesa Collier, because first of all, to outscore any player ever in a single playoff series is major. Napheesa is very young, and to be going off like Kobe that she is, I love to see it. That fade away, I need that added to my repertoire. But she was one of my favorite performances, as well as Kayla McBride. I really love to see her as part of Minnesota's Big Three showing out. And Courtney Williams. Courtney, game 5, I was a little sad. However, the rest of the playoffs, I really loved her performance. And for New York side, other than Jonquel, I really loved Phoebich. Put some respect on that rookie's name. Even I was doubting her at the beginning of the season, but she came to show out. And next to her was Naira Sabali. Like, girl, that game 5. Shout out to Germany, because what the hell y'all got in that water? Y'all just came and just took over New York. I love to see it. Those were definitely some of my favorite performances. I have to say, some of the disappointments that I thought were... it was sad to see, especially in games 4 and 5. Sabrina and Stewie, what happened? We need to know. Maybe there was some pain, maybe there was some nerves. I understand being a part of this big franchise where you're the forefront of these super teams, because basically that's what New York is. That's no shade, but it was a little disheartening to see their little averages. They were shooting like 2 of 10, 2 of 9, 2 of 14, I think. Like, it was not great. And I have to say, I felt similarly about Courtney Williams in game 5. She's such an electric point guard who can also shoot, especially her mid-range game, but she could also shoot from the 3, but she was cold. And so I think that kind of added for both teams on a few like kind of disappointing performances that we saw. But those are just my thoughts. We're gonna get some more thoughts from the team, and I'm gonna interview them like I'm Diane, so period. I'm sure you've seen the buzzings on especially Twitter, but the WNBA has a ref problem. They've had a ref problem for 10 plus years. I want to start there. And I know in game 5, a lot of people are talking about with 6.3 seconds left, Stewie traveled. Was it a foul? Wasn't it a foul? I didn't think it was a foul. However, I also think Stewie traveled. And I think that was a moment in the game where the Lynx might have been robbed of their win. However, I don't think it was the only deciding factor in the Lynx loss. And I think people need to be clear with that. There are moments where I think the Liberty were going to take off and win that game regardless. So a game never comes down to a single play. However, it is infuriating to see a play like that be so impactful into the overall result of a game. But there was also a moment like that in game 4 when it came to the foul on Carlton from the Lynx. And so Who knows? Was it a makeup call? Was it messy? Maybe the refs should just do their fucking jobs correctly. Maybe we shouldn't have to have all these discussions. Maybe you should be more like, maybe you should look more clearly, make sure that these players have a fair game called when their literal finals are on the line, like literally. It shouldn't be the coaches having to pick you out in the media for you to actually do your job. So that's all I got to say about that. All right, y'all. So after the movie that was the playoffs, we lay her to rest. Rest in peace. We gonna miss you, girl. But I am so excited for what's to come in the next season. First of all, after all our begging, I even brought it up on our previous episode, we are getting a best of 7 finals. Finally. I'm so excited. Hopefully they give them a little spacing between games because the NBA gets 2 days of rest when they have to travel. Why can't the W do that too? Because y'all saw them ladies retire. We keep talking about injuries, but we're not doing anything to protect the players. Let's do that, Kathy. Second of all, for the next year's playoff series, we're also in the first round. As we know, these were the best of 3, and usually the team that was higher ranked or higher seeded would be able to have those first 2 games at their home court. And if a team was B in first 2 games, then they were never going to be able to have that home court opportunity. So now they're making the format 1 game, 1 game, and 1 game, which means if you're the higher seed, say you're the 4 seed playing the 5 seed, game 1 will be played at the 4 seed's home court, and then game 2 will be played at the 5 seed's home court. So then there's more of an even way, because whether we like to admit it or not, home court advantage matters. And I understand it's an opportunity. Of course, you work hard to have that higher seed, to have that home court advantage. However, when it's the playoffs and anybody can win, any team can really be beaten any day and then go home, it should be more fair if you're only going to play 3 games the entire series. It'd be different if it was 5, but it's 3 for the first round. So I think it's a really good thing to incorporate for this new format. Another change we're going to have, the regular season is going from 40 games to 44. Child, again, we want to see what the rest day is going to look like. It sounds like they're just going to extend it, start it later, but excited to see what that's going to look like for the WNBA. And also, in other news, this is not just for the playoffs, but the players have voted to opt out of their collective bargaining agreement. In previous episodes, I did a full breakdown of what the collective bargaining agreement is, what it entails, what it means for the players. This determines things like their salary, the amount of roster spots they get, travel requirements. It negotiates also the revenue shared, which is one of the biggest things that they're fighting for in this collective bargaining agreement. This collective bargaining agreement was agreed upon and signed in 2020. It was supposed to go through 2027. However, they did get the option to be able to negotiate out of this deal by the end of next season, and that's exactly what the players voted to do. I hope that with this huge increase of revenue share, there was a groundbreaking viewership for the finals. 1.1 million viewers a game? They need that revenue share. Are you kidding me? They get like less than 10%? Baby, that is not fair at all. So I hope they get everything they fighting for and more, but I'm so excited to see how these negotiations go, but they will go into next season, so don't expect any type of treatment, any type of agreement, any type of thing that they're signing upon at the end of this year. It's not gonna happen. That'll be for 2025. So those are the biggest things to look forward to next year. And of course, we will get the Valkyries next year. So baby, that new team is coming. We get to see who they get to play for, who they get to trade for, who they get to draft. Baby, 13 teams. I'm so excited. So those are the biggest things that we're looking forward to next season. So let's keep moving on to what's next. So another thing that has been announced this past week is the first team All-WNBA as well as the second team All-WNBA. Child, shout out to the teams who made it, which included unanimously voted 3-time MVP A'ja Wilson, unanimously voted the Defensive Player of the Year Nafisa Collier, period. Those are the only 2 unanimous votes. But the first team also included Rookie of the Year Caitlin Clark. Shout out to her, I know that's right. The first team also included Alyssa Thomas as well as Stewie. Shout out to her. So here's a graphic of who the first team All-WNBA is and second team. Child, what do y'all think about first team, second team? I have some thoughts as well, but let us know in the comments too. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think anybody was snubbed? I personally would switch out Sabrina for Caitlin, but that's not here, there. We're just gonna keep it moving on to some other things in the Weekly W. The playoffs felt so unrivaled, and speaking of unrivaled, Stewie and Fee, shout out to them. If you don't know what Unrivaled is, it is a league that was started by Brianna Stewart and Nafisa Collier, and It's a 3-on-3 series. They've announced their roster throughout the season of the WNBA, just saying who's going to be playing with these teams. They're going to be located in Miami, Florida, and their games start on January 17th. But shout out to Unrivaled because they just brokered a record-breaking TV deal with TNT Sport. $200 million deal. Baby! Just for reference, y'all, the WNBA just signed a new broadcast deal that was $200 million a year. Through this TV deal, every single game that is played, Unrivaled makes $350,000 per game, which will then contribute to the players' salaries. Mind you, if people are like, okay, they're players, $350,000, the WNBA's salary cap is $215,000. That's their cap. And you have to not be a rookie to make that, as well as be one of their franchise players for a team, and only about 2 or 3 players per team can sign max contracts. Baby, this is major. I don't think y'all seen it. Like, that is insane and herstory, if we shall. While we like to say it or we don't want to admit it, in the sports world, it's still heavily gauged towards men, even as anchors and analysts and things like that. So for 2 women especially to come in and do this is insane. And also to wreck this deal so that these players can have the high salaries that they were promised when they signed to Unrivaled is absolutely immaculate. That's how you take care of a league that you commission, Kathy. No shade, but shade, because I do, like, we all know there are things that I think as a commissioner, Kathy Engelbert could do better, and I'm going to continue to throw that shade because it's true. Sorry, not sorry. I would expect to have the same type of criticism or anything as if I was in that position. So, in your New York dress, that's fine. But let's get back into it before I go off on Kathy K. Anyway, congratulations. I'm so excited to watch. I hope y'all are too. There's going to be so many iconic Hoopers, including Fee and Stewie. Serena Ionescu is going. Literally, Angel Reese is going. There's so many players from the W, major players that everyone's supporting that's going to be Unrivaled. Everybody should be watching. Everybody should be watching. So since this is our final episode of season 1, we thought it would be fun if the team came in. We're going to ask some of our favorite things, some of our favorite moments from the season, some of our favorite playoff moments, our favorite things like that. So let's get into it with the Joneser for the Dub team, period.
PSA. I'm just gonna... Am I centered?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, you
Great. Okay.
So, first, out of the entire playoff series, who was your favorite player in the third one?
I'd have to say Phoebich, and especially her first game against Atlanta.
Nafisa was like...
Nafisa Collier's whole playoff run. I'd never seen anything like it.
We got to go to game 2 of the finals, and Benijah Laney Hamilton's performance literally carried the team.
Shouting her out, but I also want to give a little bit of an unexpected answer.
Coming off the bench to be a starting player for her first game, I think it was, the entire season, or at least her first notable one, to go 7 for 8, have 4 3-pointers, and to just be a force of nature out of nowhere.
As a forward, to be so deadly from every point of the court was insane.
Number 44, I will ride or die for her. She's my favorite member of the team now. And seeing that performance live in real time was just incredible.
I gotta shout out my girl Ellie. Ellie, the goddamn elephant. You are the most sassy, sexy, sponsored mascot that I am dumbfounded by in the best way.
Nobody expected her to be on that lineup, and it changed the way every other team was preparing for the Liberty in a heartbeat.
She's definitely my top, and a close follow-up would definitely be Marina Marbury coming into the Connecticut Suns playoffs.
Ellie was putting in the work, just like everyone else. Getting that crowd going as she does, whipping her little, hair as she does, and I just have a lot of love for her.
A lot of people, including myself, were questioning how she was going to fit in with the Connecticut Sun, and she came in that playoffs and showed the fuck out. And so I have to give her hats off to her to join a team late and then show off in the playoffs as well, show out in the playoffs. I love that from her too. but Fee takes cake. All right, then. So who was your favorite player from the entire season, minus MVP Ava Wilson?
Ooh, favorite player.
First and foremost, I'm a Storm fan. I have to pick Gabby Williams.
My favorite player is definitely DT.
I gotta go with Dejanay Carrington.
I'm gonna give it to Kalia Copper.
Mon amour, mon coeur, la lumière de ma vie.
Another obvious, like, GOAT, huge legacy status.
She left a front office that didn't appreciate her. Chicago Sky, I'm talking to you because I don't like you.
She had a great year. I loved her, especially towards the end of the year when she had that duo with Marina Mabry. It was fire.
She went to join a team, the Mercury, and she was able to just come in and fuck shit up in the best way. Then she went to the Olympics and went off, and then she came back to W as if nothing changed.
When she came back after the Olympics in Paris, it completely revitalized the energy of the Storm and made for some incredible games.
She's kind of a serious player, but unserious player that I love that mix of, like, she can, you know, tune in or lock in when it's necessary, and also ease back and almost have, like, mom energy. I mean, literally mom energy.
I think in a rebuild, they are key. And we don't know if we're going to have Dewana Bonner there. We don't know if we're going to have Alyssa Thomas. I know there's some other pieces that are moving around, but those two are great. If we're seeing the Sun on top next year, they're why.
No, people are talking about her, but I just don't think they realize the impact in such a short amount of time for someone who came from such, like, she could have really been with the Sky now and probably bringing them more championships if they had learned how to appreciate her. So
she is such a star player, and I hope she comes back because she knows that the Seattle Storm as franchise and all of the fans really love her a lot, and hope to see her play again in neon green because their Rebel uniforms are the best.
You know, I want to meet her. She's definitely in my rotation, if you know what I'm saying. So, come on, hit me up, DT.
No yes. Who was your favorite team overall from the entire season?
I mean, do I have to say it?
The Lynx.
It's the Liberty.
For, like, personal bias reasons, Phoenix Mercury, like, DT, plus I got much love for Arizona.
You know, I'm gonna stay loyal. Ever since Nika Mule was drafted, I said I was gonna stick with the Seattle Storm.
It was the Aces until they went on this rut, and I was just like, y'all are better than this.
And honestly, I think that team has a lot of great chemistry overall. I just enjoy them as both people and players, so it's really nice to see that energy come to life.
They played her for maybe 8 minutes for the whole season, but I fell in love with Jewel Lloyd, Ezzy Magmagor, NECA, Madam President, Skylar Diggins-Smith, Gabby, everyone on that team. I feel blessed to know so much about them now, and I'm gonna stick with them next year.
Minnesota consistently progressed, and I like to see it even through injury. They literally told people, respect me, and they made it all the way to the finals. I fuck with that. And shout out to Courtney, because she's from Georgia and I'm from Georgia, so. For next season, who do you think, which team is going to be on their revenge tour saying, I'm back and I'm better?
So many to pick from.
The Indiana Fever?
The Lynx first. If not them.
Honestly, I think Enrique Nguguale is not going to settle. I think the Dallas Wings.
I don't think anyone's going to say this, but the Liberty.
Maybe the Sun, but they're going to probably lose their coach, so I'm interested to see how different they look.
I've been saying all season, like, they're a young team, and I think with time, which maybe as soon as next season, they might be coming, you know, top tier. They were ready in the playoffs, so, like...
Last year, they fell short. This year, I think there's a bit of a chip on their shoulder. There's a lot of people saying that their championship has an asterisk. They're going to want to come back and win one for real. Win one in 3. Or, 4?
I think they're going to have some serious work over this offseason, and they're going to come back and really fight for it this year.
Obviously, Caitlin Clark is what everyone wants to talk about, but at the same time, like, I think they are a pretty decent team, and they honestly deserve a little more respect. I don't know. Let's see what they do next season.
Who is your favorite fashionista from the season?
Ooh.
It was Nika.
Have to give to Skylar.
I think I'm going to pick Asia Wilson.
You know, I'm surprised none of you said this, but I want to shout out Angel Reese, because, girl.
I think she just came with a concept for the entire season. It was business. And she brought business every single game. And she brought that little military bun, and it looked great.
I was just like, if they ain't gonna play her like she should be played, she came to step in them fits. So I love Danica.
She came with every look, the bang when she had to, and then when it was time to get back to playing, like she was the MVP. She was in that white tee and gray sweatpants look. You know, she revitalized that and made it a whole fashion moment, and I really loved that.
She has the cute down, she has the comfort down. The jersey, the Lynx Liberty, like, sewn together jersey, I think that should speak for itself.
Stewie's a close second because I think Stewie stepped up her game. Not that she was bad in the past, but she was just even better. She ate that shit. But Nika's MVP. All right, y'all. So that's all that we have. This is our final episode of season 1 of Jonesing for the Dove. And I just want to say thank you for tuning in. Thank you for following us. Thank you for following the W. Thank you for just everything. But I want to thank the people behind the camera in the room with me, because this show wouldn't be anything without them. I know everybody just sees my face a lot. You've seen them a bit. But to Andrew, to Lorianna, to Parker, this show wouldn't be anything without y'all. From every episode, every edit, everything. And I'm just thankful that y'all came on this journey with me and will continue to have it. I'm gonna stop before I cry, but I had a vision for the show and y'all came along for the ride through our own fun, sweat, and tears. Literally our own funds. So I love y'all so much, and thank you for 13 episodes in the season. And I can't wait for the next one, but I can't even put into words how much I appreciate y'all. So shout out to the team, shout out to the fans, the ones that will continue to get, but make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Follow us on TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and we'll see y'all next season. Bye.
Come on.
I love y'all so much. I'm gonna cry. Thank y'all so much. Thank you.
We did it.
We did it.